What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Weekly Dose of Dano TV. Today, we have a super incredible guest. You guys have no idea all of the stuff that Virginia has gone through. I'm just so grateful, excited, and happy to be here with everybody. Thank you for sharing an hour of your time. Welcome to the people that are watching live. Welcome to everybody that's watching on the replay. I'm just I'm bursting with energy just because I'm so happy that Virginia is here. She's actually here the day after her birthday. So happy belated. I already said happy birthday to you, Virginia. So we're already on that same page. I don't even know where to begin. Virginia has so much to talk about. Her life is one of a kind, really. It's incredible things that she's gone through, overcome, and some of the things that she's still working on even till this day are just absolutely amazing. But before we bring her on the show, I'm actually going to do something a little bit different. You know, guys, I always have to talk about what's in Life's Little Instruction book, but for today, I'm not going to be using the book. I was cleaning out my room, and I came across this notebook. It's actually been filled up. I don't even know what's in it. It's just a bunch of old stuff that I guess I've written down and, like, you know, just taking notes whenever I've been reading, whenever I've been watching videos on YouTube, or anything that has to do with positivity, the universe, God, spirituality, all of that type of different stuff. I have a whole page of stuff that I wrote down. And when I tell you, I read this stuff and I thought to myself, I came up with this? Like, what? Who am I? Like, this stuff is really amazing. And just the fact that I reread it again and it blew my mind, I just have to share it with you guys. So hopefully you guys have your pen and papers ready, because what I'm about to drop to you guys is super hot fire. So y'all better be ready for it. I don't even know if I brought this stuff up on the show again, but it's so good that you guys need to hear it again, just in case you forgot. All right. So one of the things, the top thing that I wrote down on here is the answer to what is true for you always exists at the core of who you are. I'm gonna repeat that for you guys again, because that is very profound stuff. I don't know how I came up with it. It came up, you know, it came through me. That's what it is. It came from the universe. It came from God, and I was just the medium for the information to come through. So again, the answer to what is true for you always exists at the core of who you are. Okay, so I can tell you, for me, one of the biggest things that I've realized and that I've learned is that your answers are always going to be found in stillness and in silence. When you take that time to meditate, do yoga, write your journaling, whatever it is that you do in order to really calm yourself down and to focus your mind on what you want, that's when you'll start to get the answers. A big thing, another thing that I really found out and that I learned about, oh, what's that little update? Nope, remind me later. Come on, now I'm on the show, they're distracting me. No, I don't want to do that. Come on, all these different downloads. Okay. So another big fact that I recently learned is that when you get waking up at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, a lot of people always say, like, that's the witch's hour, the devil's hour, but I found that not to be the case. When you get woken up at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, that is God and the universe trying to give you the answers that you've been asking for. The biggest, I guess the biggest example that I can give you on how that correlates is, imagine if you're trying to talk to somebody at the gym, right? You want to give them a piece of advice on their workout, and they have their headphones on and they're mid-rep and the music is loud and they can't hear you, right? How are you supposed to convey your message to that person if they're too busy doing what they have to do in order to pay you any mind? It's the same thing with waking up at, you know, the universe waking you up at that time. It's the hour of stillness. And while the world is, you know, your half of the world is at peace, and there's peace and quiet, that's when they give you the answers that you deserve and that you're asking for. Another thing too is, when you are true to yourself, you communicate with others truthfully, and your purpose and truth will flow into the world. Lauren, are you serious? You're calling me right now in the middle of my show? Constantly harassing me, man. I'm on the show. Okay, so when you're true to yourself, you communicate with others truthfully, and your purpose and truth will flow into the world. It will flow into your inside world and your outside world. So when you communicate with people truthfully, you start to weed out the people that aren't meant to be in your life, and you start to operate at your vibrational frequency. And when your vibrational frequency is all the way up here, you'll start to connect with people that, one, you may have never even heard of before. Like, with Lauren, he's all the way in Chicago and I'm in New Jersey. So I would have never thought that somebody so far away would come into my life and really like single-handedly change the way that I view about the world. Left me a voicemail. So it starts to weed out the people that you don't want, and it starts to flood you with opportunities that you are willing and able to achieve. So those are just some of the things that I wrote on here. I can talk about this for about 3 days in a row. So I'm not going to bore you guys with that. It is time to bring Virginia Rose onto the show. You guys have no idea how long I've been waiting just to bring her on the show. So much golden nuggets that are about to be dropped on your head. So before I bring her on, can you guys just spam those hearts and those likes in the bottom right corner of the Facebook screen? Because we have to get that energy flowing, and we have to bring Virginia into this community of people who want to be a part of something greater than themselves, and just spreading that positive energy around. So you guys better be spamming that stuff, because Virginia's coming on the show right now. Hey, Virginia.
Hi.
Oh, man.
How are you?
Life is absolutely beautiful. Just living every day like it's my last. How have you been?
I'm doing wonderful. I'm still super positive energy coming off of my birthday and a birthday weekend. And we're going to keep the party going through Monday. I got friends still taking me out on Friday and family members. Hi there. Hi to everybody that's watching and on the replay. And then my best friend's taking me out on Monday. We're just going to keep it going, like birthday month. Why not just close it out, right? So I got my flowers here for my kids, and I'm so happy and excited, and I'm just so grateful for this opportunity, Dano. And I just want to say to you that everything that you just said about frequency is absolutely true. You know, you really hit the nail on the head with that. And also some of my most creative photo shoots, including the one I did for my birthday, the day before my birthday, came to me at 3 o'clock in the morning. And the idea for my podcast came to me at 5 a.m. So where there is peace, there is stillness, and God wants you to be still sometimes. So I just love what you said. So I just wanted to let you know that.
Yeah. Do you hear that?
No, it's okay.
Right,
A little bit.
all right. What about now?
There we go. We got it.
Cool. Perfect. Thank you for confirming what I'm saying. Like, if anybody's watching this right now, everything that I say, I practice myself, and I'm not just blowing out something that sounds nice. Like Virginia just said, she confirmed it. So thank you for doing that.
Yeah, it's nice to be validated. It's good.
You know how it is. So Virginia, we have to fit your entire life into this 1 hour, which is going to be impossible.
Good luck.
Yeah, so let's just get right into it. Everybody's been waiting. I've been waiting, and I'm just so excited to finally get this opportunity to be able to talk to you. So let's take it back to the beginning. There were some huge events, life-changing events that happened to you when you were about 10 to 14 years old. Would you be able to share with everybody watching right now? And I just want to let everybody know, just the fact that Virginia is sharing this, it shows confidence, it shows bravery, and it shows seriously that you've overcome some really amazing things. So thank you for sharing this story. So go ahead, explain to everybody what happened through the ages of 10 to 14 for you.
Well, if it's okay, there's a little bit of a backstory there. So my parents were married. They were very young when they had me, and like 19, 20 years old. And unfortunately, my father was a part of the cycle of abuse. People who are abused often abuse, right? Mm-hmm. And so that fell down onto me. I am a cycle breaker. Praise the Lord for that. And I chose differently for my life and the path for my children. But he was in a lot of pain and had a lot of mental health issues, and he was very abusive. And when my parents got divorced when I was around 10 years old, he decided to play a bit of a game of keep away with my brother and I. And he took us to another state. He wouldn't allow us to be returned to our mother. And the abuse just got worse and worse and worse. I'm very thankful and very grateful that I was at a school. I was at a few different schools, but one main school during that time, during that 4-year time of where I felt very terrorized by him and very like no way out. I used to think about running away from home just on the daily basis. In fact, I tried a couple of times and it just didn't work. I mean, I was like 12 years old, you know what I mean? And it just, as the abuse continued, I knew I had to find a way out and to get back to my mother and find my mother. And I'm very, very lucky that I made extremely amazing, wonderful bonds and friendships with the kids, a lot of the kids that were at that school, and we're still friends to this day. I probably have a good at least like 30 to 40 people that I'm still friends with from that middle school. And some of them I'm extremely close with, and they mean the world to me. They were there for me during that time. So by the time I was able to return to my mother, she was not well. I mean, who would be well when they couldn't see their children for many years? And it just totally broke my heart. And I was so sad. And she's wonderful now. She's amazing. But it was just a struggle. And then coming back at such a young age and trying to repair and understand all the trauma and everything that had happened with my father, and moving around and living in hotels and doing all this stuff. It was a struggle for me. But I saw this interview with Tyler Perry on the Oprah Winfrey Show, and he talked about the extreme abuse that he endured from his father and how that abuse drove him to want greatness and to want to break the cycle and want to use his pain for the greater good. And we all know Tyler Perry. There's probably not one person on this planet that doesn't know who he is and what he ended up building and doing the plays and praying to God and getting aligned and all that stuff. So the trauma that I endured during that time, I used all that. Now, took many moons to heal. There was different things. I still am healing things up. But during that time, I really worked hard to use all of it for the greater good. I started with modeling and then figure skating. Did you lose me? Oh, here I am.
Oh, yeah.
I'm here. I started with modeling and figure skating, which turned into a position. I needed a lot of money to support figure skating. My mom was helping, but I needed to support the figure skating, which was like $1 a minute plus coaching, plus skates, plus like so many things. So I actually applied for a job as a celebrity photographer and guest photographer at Walt Disney World, Florida, and MGM Studios, and I got the job. And so I'm figure skating and I'm getting this passion for photography, and I'm kind of modeling in between, going back and forth. And all of those things collided because the figure skating, I had to learn dance and ballet and exercise and all this stuff, which helped the modeling. The modeling helped the photography, and the photography supported the skating. So it just started to build, and I just started to heal, from within, and it just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Well, unfortunately, I was in a car accident. I've actually been in 2 very serious car accidents. Neither one I was driving. I was a passenger. And the car accidents kept me from being able to pursue professionally figure skating, which broke my heart. But guess what? There was a plan B, and it was the plan, God's plan, the whole entire time, which was me to become a celebrity, international, fashion photographer, and to photograph people and change their lives and help them to see the beauty inside as well as the beauty outside. And that is some of my greatest works. I mean, I've done many other things, but that is like so important to me. And I'm like, oh gosh, I'm giving my age, 22 years. I've been doing photography now.
Oh, wow.
So.
Yeah. I don't even want to tell you how old I am, but yeah.
So as long as you've been alive, that's how long I've been doing it.
Yeah, but that's truly, truly amazing stuff. I kind of want to get into the mindset of you going through some of your most challenging times. Mm-hmm. In the beginning, did you ever think that you would be where you are right now?
So yes and no. So when I was about 5 years old, this is a really true story here. I used to sit on my toy box that was next to a window, and I'd look out the window, and I just felt, I mean, you're 5 years old, like, so you don't have a complete grasp, but like, I remember in Sunday school, Jesus loves the little children, and like and Jesus loves you. And I knew Jesus loved me. And I felt like I had a purpose,
Mhm.
and it was a really big deal. And when you're 5 years old, you can't really process it really, but I just knew that there was something inside me that was going to be a really big deal someday. But
Mhm.
at the same time, I try to always like be humble, I don't want to be like it wasn't that I was going to be better than anybody, but I just felt like a purpose, and
Mhm.
that God really loved me, and that I was going to be able to overcome these things. And that really helped me a lot. And also, I'll tell you, I don't know about horoscopes or whatever, but I'm an Aries Taurus because I'm on the cusp, and that's a ram and a bull. So like when challenges come, I'm like, I'm either gonna ram this, or I'm gonna be like a bull that sees red, because I'm gonna overcome this obstacle. I'm not gonna go around it. I'm not gonna go over it. I'm gonna go through it. And that's been some very difficult times, Dan. Very difficult times. But I always manage somehow. I feel like a phoenix. Like I feel like when I'm in my darkest moments, if I can just rise up, I always come back stronger. It's incredible. So now I know, after 8, 9, 10 times being a hurricane survivor, my daughter being born with a rare kidney disorder, growing up with trauma, all these things, and looking at myself each time that something terrible happened, or a car accident or severe trauma, and the way that I overcame it, it's getting easier and easier. So now when I see a setback, I see it like a slingshot. God's pulling me back so he can launch me so far forward. And that's the mindset that I use. And I think that's really important.
Yeah, 100%. Everything that you think about becomes your reality, your inner reality and your outer realities. And you're obviously a testament to that, because just the room that you're sitting in right now is absolutely amazing. You can just tell that,
Yeah.
you're very successful in what you have done. What are some of the strategies, or is there any, like, if somebody wanted to apply this right now, they're in their deepest, darkest times, and they're like, okay, I need some different ways in order to get out of this mindset. Do you have any specific strategies to share with anybody watching in order to change their life, tomorrow?
Well, first of all, you have to be willing to do the work. So there's three main things that I'll start with. Number one, find or get a support system. If you are surrounded by toxic people, remove them. You need a support system. Everybody needs a support system. If it's a friend, if it's a family member, a sister, a brother. And by the way, your support system might not always be the people that you're related to.
Mm-hmm.
It might not be. My support system, I do have, family members that support, but a lot of my support system is friends. Amazing, amazing, beautiful friends that love me, and I love them very, very much. And they tell me on the daily basis, even if it's a text, 11:11, I love you, or I love you, sweetie, or how was your day? Support system will change your life. If somebody is constantly negative in your life, don't please them. Walk away. Goodbye. And by the way, you don't owe them any explanation. None at all. You really don't.
Everybody's going to be flooding the lights in the hearts, because what you're dropping right now is absolute heat, and this is real stuff. So continue.
Exactly. That's number one. Number two, self-care. So important, self-care. If you don't put the oxygen mask on yourself and fill your own cup, how are you going to give to others? When I mastered the art of self-care, okay, I got younger. I look younger at 38 years old than I do at 28 years old. And that is 100% true. When I go back and look at pictures at 28, it looks like it's flip-flopped. One of my very anointed friends, and that's also under the record label, because I'm an executive at a record label as well, God's Glory Music Group. She's like, you are restored. God restored your youth because trauma ages you. And then not taking care of yourself, not drinking water, not taking your vitamins, get into a daily routine. So important. So nobody, except for very, very dear people, dear to my heart, and my children are allowed to speak to me before 11 a.m.
Okay.
I don't talk. I don't talk to anyone. A lot of people do this type of thing. Tony Robbins, a lot of people, they make a bubble for themselves. So in the morning, I wake up very slowly. I stretch. I get my coffee so I don't be, like a little yippy dog at anybody. I get my coffee. I drink my water. I take my vitamins. I take a hot bubble bath for 1 hour. I know they're going to be like, this girl is bougie. No, because I'm trying. I know it sounds like it, right? There's a reason, like I've never had plastic surgery. I'm not against people that have plastic surgery, but I've never had any plastic surgery. I've never had anything, but my skin is rested and it's relaxed and my eyes are relaxed and I feel youthful inside and outside because I meditate, I pray, I take a bath, I do my self-care, everything. Then when I start my day at 11 o'clock and sometimes doing podcasts all the way till 9 or 10 p.m. at night, you guys are getting the best of me. I'm well rested. I'm well spoken. I can think a thought. I don't have anxiety. I don't suffer in that way. I don't feel like I'm chasing energy all the time or like there's somebody standing behind me because you know how you get that overwhelming feeling when you have things due. And I know everybody can't do what I do because they say they work a 9 to 5. Well, guess what? From 5:30 to 7:30, they can say that's my time. That's my gym time. That's my reading time. That's my studying time. If you have kids, maybe it's 8 to 10 o'clock at night after they go to bed. You have to practice self-care. So find a support system, self-care, and definitely you have to get good rest. I know some of these are like givens. Breathing. Take a few minutes out of your day to remind yourself to breathe. And I'm going to give a 1-minute exercise. And I would challenge every person listening to this, and it really, really will change your life. Are you ready for this, Dan?
Oh, I'm ready. I got my pen. I'm writing down notes too.
Okay. So place your hand over your heart and ask your heart what it wants.
Now, do you have to say this out loud or is this something inside in your mind?
You can say it inside or you can say it outside. And you know what's so funny? Your heart will tell you. I need sleep. I need support. I need rest. I need music. I need whatever it might be. I need to go on a vacation. Whatever it is. And you can set that. Sometimes it's a goal. Sometimes it might be something that's for the future, or sometimes it might be something right now that you haven't done for yourself. So I think it's really, really important to ask yourself and check in with yourself at least once a day. I have actually asked people if they've ever asked their heart what it wants, and they said no, they've actually never asked themselves that question. It's all about everybody else. It's all about pleasing the kids, pleasing the spouse, pleasing the parents, pleasing the brother, pleasing the boss, all of that. It starts with you. It starts with you. And when you're okay, other people, you will see how the energy changes, and make sure people are coming to meet you at your frequency. I love that you spoke into frequency. So frequencies, low frequency is negativity. Mm-hmm. Okay. That's why you notice like Beethoven or like when people pound on a piano in the lower key, it's very dreary and it kind of, you can listen to a song that's in a low key and it'll make you kind of melancholy.
Like the Jaws theme.
Okay. Yeah.
To be more specific, but.
Exactly. So when you listen to high frequency music, you can actually look this up on YouTube. High frequency. You surround yourself with high frequency. Okay, I'm a high frequency. We just had this conversation backstage. Not everybody can handle my energy, and that's okay. Because guess what? If my sun is shining a little bit too bright, either I want my sun to shine on you. Maybe you're sad, and maybe I can lift you up. Or if you flee because my energy is too high, then you like to live in that negative vibe. And I can't meet you where you're at. You need to meet me. So kind of command that the universe and the people around you. Look, I'm going places in life. I'm setting goals. I'm working on getting out of this negative space. I need you to come up to where I am and meet me where I'm at. And if you can't, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to have you in my circle. As much as I love you and I wish the best for you, I'm not going to be able to have you enter into that space. Now,
there's one point that I actually want to build on top of that. In the middle of the night, right before I go to sleep pretty late, like maybe like, if I'm going to be honest, like 2 a.m. But right before I go to sleep, I go on YouTube and I type in money manifestation music while sleeping, miracle manifestation music while sleeping. And, I don't like to talk about finances, like, personal finances on the show, but I'm going to let you guys know the second or third night, I can't remember exactly which night, I was listening to a money manifestation channel on YouTube, And if I'm going to give you guys a recommendation, skip where you see the first ad because you'll hear that and then that'll throw you off for the rest of the night. But with this music, it has no words, so then you can fall asleep peacefully. But in the second or third night, I kid you not, the next day, I received a bonus inside my bank account of $3,000. And I'm going to say that it came from nowhere, but obviously it comes from somewhere and it was planned. When you start to operate at that frequency, and that's the whole point of this music, is to, your cells vibrate. Everything that you see and that you hear vibrate. This laptop, my camera, this mouse, this phone that Lauren keeps calling me on, all of this has micro, all the cells vibrate. So when you start to listen at that music, the cells inside of your body and in your brain and in your heart and in your blood and everything vibrate higher so that you start to attract those different people. So I love that you said the whole vibration. And that's one of the techniques that you can do tonight is go on YouTube and listen to money manifestation, positive affirmations, miracle manifestation, binaural beats, literally anything you can find on YouTube. But I love that you said that. Amazing points. I totally agree.
Also, I can give another YouTube. So on YouTube, there is meditations for healing negative energy and removing trauma. So I have noticed that on interviews, we've gotten into this topic before, and a lot of people don't realize that trauma embeds itself into our DNA cellularly. And that's why oftentimes we develop PTSD, panic attacks, and anxiety. Now, I am not a licensed doctor or a licensed psychologist, but I suffered from PTSD and anxiety. I get it once in a while, but it's so rare now because I did a lot of the healing work. So you can actually listen to meditations to cut off negative energy, and perhaps you've dealt with a narcissist in your life, or perhaps you've dealt with a manipulator or somebody that was very abusive, a broken relationship, something that was very harmful to your spirit, that broke your spirit or your soul, and it still actually lives there. So what you got to do is you have to go and command it, okay, to be removed. And when you start doing the work and listen to meditations that remove it, it actually has you physically picture like an anchor or a chain and breaking that or removing that from you and releasing the suitcases that are filled with rocks that we carry around that are past people's problems or our traumas. Focus on living presently and removing all that. And when you lift that weight, you're going to be able to focus on the path ahead of you instead of looking in your rearview mirror all the time, which, yes, we learn from our past, but it's so important to focus on our future. And one of my affirmations daily, and if you could see my office right now, I have so many Post-it notes all around me, but is today I will live presently and I will oppose nothing. Today I will live presently. So whatever happens, Lauren, stop calling. I know that. You know what? I wonder, is he calling? Like, do I have a hair out of place or something? Is he move the flowers to the right? Like,
yeah, no. What we like to do is he'll text me actually on most of my lives. I just try to ignore it. He tries to test me because when I go to bigger and better things, because I know that I'm not going to do this for the rest of my life. When I'm on actual television, I got to learn how to ignore all of these like outside.
So is that what it is?
Yeah, so he just likes to test me, and I'm gonna get him back because this morning when I was on his show, I was trying to make him laugh and trying to break character too, but it's not gonna work on me. So I
He's
agree.
a professional, Lauren. It's not gonna work.
I know.
I was an acting coach too, so I got it.
Yeah, all right, cool. I'm glad that you understand. So 1,000%, you hit the nail right on the head. Not just focusing on the positive to bring more of that, but to just cut that chain for the negative as well. There was one thing that you said specifically that really stood out, and if Lauren were in to call me, I would have remembered it. But thank you so much for that. Right now, we're at the 30-minute mark, 31-minute mark, and we're going to take a quick commercial break. And in the meantime, I want you to go. We're going to talk a little bit more about your life and what you had to do on the second half of your life and all of your successes and all of your accomplishments. And in the meantime, while we're looking at all of these sponsorships, thank you for the sponsor. I'm going to yell at Lauren and I'm going to text him right now. So everybody don't go anywhere and we'll be right back.
Okay.
There's a
Welcome back, everybody. That was just a quick word from our sponsors. Speaking of Electric Revival, I just got my cards ordered in today, and I'm super, super excited just because I can't wait to actually physically hold all of the hard work that we've been doing, and I'm just super, super excited. And to take that down there to Virginia and Virginia.
Yes.
They're not
Tell me where I live now.
No. I meant Texas.
Obviously.
Yeah. I can't wait for that. Nobody's ready for the work that we're about to be doing down there, and I'm just super, super, super excited.
It's gonna be lit.
Oh, you're using the word lit now. Okay, I see.
Yeah. You said 28, not 38. I could say it.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I'm sorry. I'm the one who forgot. So,
I have teenagers. They keep me popping in the language department. They're like, bet. All right, bet.
Oh, no, we don't. No, nobody uses bet anymore.
Well, my son does. Say, unload the dishwasher. He's like, all right, bet, mom, bet. Let's do it.
Yeah. Well, okay, I'll let that slide then. I'll let it slide. So, Virginia, what has been photo-wise, photo shoot, what has been your most favorite photo shoot ever?
Oh, gosh. Well, I have to say Niall DeMarco because so Niall DeMarco, and if you guys aren't familiar, please look him up. He is a deaf advocate. He won America's Next Top Model season 21. He won Dancing with the Stars, completely deaf, and actually some of the dances he did with a blindfold and deaf, which is completely crazy. You guys can look that up. But I learned sign language, some sign language in order to direct that shoot. And I had the opportunity and to shoot it in these, it was like $7,000 presidential suite in the top of the Waldorf Astoria in Manhattan. And it was absolutely life-changing because the week that I did the photo shoot is the week that he won America's Next Top Model. And by the time everything went to the magazines and it went to print, he won Dancing with the Stars. And so everyone knew my name, like all around the world. And it opened up so many doors for me. And he was one of the most genuine, wonderful, beautiful souls that I have ever met. So humble and just so grateful. He stayed after the shoot. He was so respectful and supportive, and I'll just never forget it. I mean, for a celebrity, he was just completely life-changing. So very, very grateful for that. And I know you didn't ask me a number 2, but the number 2 would have to be the Marie Antoinette. And you guys can check that out on virginiarosefineart.com. But that to be able to recreate from 17th century, 18th century, which is like my favorite era, to be able to do with the wigs that are, 2 and 3 feet high, and the pearls and the bodices and the corsets. If I could dress like that every day and get away with it and nobody would call any, police, like this lady's crazy, like why is she walking around like that? Which my neighbors already get a show because I do photo shoots in bridal gowns and whatever, Cinderella gowns, whenever I feel like in my front yard, and Alice in Wonderland and whatever. But I absolutely love doing period time shoots. It's my absolute favorite. Mermaids, recreating, taking you to that time set, storytelling, and just doing stuff that's completely over the top that some people would never even think about even trying to do it. I will do it and I will conquer it.
I love that. I love that it's exactly like you said. You're going to take your challenge head on, and you know that you're going to persevere through it. And when you know that already in your mind, when it comes to actually carrying out those actions, you're going to kill it.
Yeah, I love it. I love a challenge. I love a good challenge.
What has been some of the most important lessons that photography has taught you that you can apply in your everyday life?
I'd have to say empathy and patience. And photography is not about taking pictures. That's a part of it. Photography is about knowing the client and being able to help their dream come true. I'm not a typical everyday photographer. I am a luxury, lifestyle, album cover, magazine cover type of photographer. Was I always that? No, I had to build my career up to that. But I think just being very tuned in and being an empath person and like a seer type of person, and you can look that up, but a seer is like very, like we can see visions and like spiritually and energies and things like that. And being able to just tap in. And I use a system called the red light, yellow light, green light system. And that helps me to be able to maneuver through the shoot. If someone has suffered a trauma, and I'm going to say they suffered from breast cancer, and now they're trying to do a boudoir photo shoot, or they had a miscarriage, and now they're doing a maternity shoot, but they're still kind of like worried or scared that something might happen to their baby. I'm not going to push them. I'm going to meet them. And so, okay, we could try this pose, or we could try that. Just kind of meeting people where they are. Okay, green light, they're happy, they like this, feel the energy. Oh, this is negative. This is not a comfortable space for them. And if it's not a comfortable space, like as far as mentally, like they don't like themselves, they don't like their arms, they don't like their thighs, whatever. What can I do to speak into them to either help them push past it so that they can overcome it and truly enjoy their photo shoot, or maybe pull back a little bit and give them their space? So I would say that most.
Yeah, those are, and Lauren is actually commenting now, trying to make up, doing all these different hashtags in order to try to make up for the fact that he called us a few times. But what you said is been absolutely amazing. I can definitely take this stuff, even though I'm not a photographer, I can definitely take all of the tips and advice that you're giving to everybody watching right now, and I can apply it right now. I can apply it tomorrow. It doesn't matter, but just the fact that you're willing to share all of this information and all of these golden nuggets has been absolutely incredible. I want to thank you. Everybody wants to thank you just for your time and your energy and just everything that you provide. And you're just so humble about everything too. We actually had, I had to tell Virginia earlier to stop trying to out nice me, because I would say something.
No, it's not going to work.
Yeah, it was, the best part is that it's been 1000% genuine. It's just been so much fun. So one of the things that you were working on is you were starting your own wine company, and you said that you were going to move to Italy. Would you be able to go into that? And why you do wine?
I mean, I would be like a dual resident, but yes. Okay. So, photography, as much as I love it, after 20 years and 2 car accidents, I was getting burnt out. Everybody gets burnt out, even if they love something. And I'm Italian, and on my grandmother's side, my mom's side, and it was my dream to have my own wine company. Right? So in 2017, I took the journey. I traveled many regions. I worked with my business partner, Petra Moretti, and we made a Montepulciano di Abruzzo. We made a Malbec. We made a Prosecco, like all these wonderful wines. And the labels are my art, which is like from the Venetian and the Marie Antoinette work that I did, and these beautiful labels. And I worked really hard for years on that project. And I was ready to retire from photography and launch it. Go live in Italy during the times, the seasons I need to make the wine, come to the United States, do food and wine festivals and all that. Well, due to the pandemic, I had to, obviously, it's not a secret that Italy's like closed, and it's still like closed. They just actually issued, the United States Embassy today or yesterday issued that they are still at level 4. Like you shouldn't travel there. So I had to pivot majorly, Dano, and I was really sad. I was really brokenhearted, because when you work on something, I didn't work on that for 3 or 6 months. That was 4 years that I worked, going on 5 years now. So I was like, oh my gosh, I was devastated. But let me tell you something amazing, okay? A story of triumph. The podcast, La Dolce Vita podcast with Virginia Rose, a movement, artists supporting artists, wonderful friends, people like you and Lauren and Joshua Berglund and Aaron Saxton, and just amazing people that have come out of doing the podcast. And it has listenership in 31 countries now on 8 platforms. La Dolce Vita podcast would never exist. I probably wouldn't know you and a lot of wonderful people that I know had I not had to pivot. And I think it's so important that when we have to pivot, that we know that the sun will still shine. Mm-hmm. And sometimes there's actually a really like way better treasure or way better rainbow than we could have ever expected. Trust the process. Trust the process. You're not defeated. Failure is your friend. because sometimes it's not always failure. Just push through it, move forward. I'm still going to do my wine journey. I'm still going to go to Italy. I'm still going to drink wine. I'm still going to have a wonderful time. But guess what? Now I get to do it with thousands of people listening to my show. Now I get to do it with hundreds of supporters I never had while I'm serving them and supporting them. So it really does work out in the end, for sure.
100%, because I know that if it weren't for the pandemic, I don't think that I would be having this platform for everybody like you and everybody else that I've had on the show to be able to share their stories and to share their information and their knowledge and what they've gone through on the firsthand basis, to really show that you can get through anything with a positive and refined mindset. And as you and everybody else already know, that is the number one thing that I want people to really understand when they watch Weekly Dose of Dano TV. And thank you again for coming on the show. It really, really honored. How has your podcast changed your life?
Oh my gosh, so many ways. Well, first of all, I want to let everyone know that I was really scared in the beginning to do the podcast. Mm-hmm. And God, I really feel I have a very strong relationship with God. I pray every day, and God put on my heart, and the message that he gave me was, when you can't find the light, be the light. And I was like, start a podcast, find the light, be the light. Okay, how am I going to do this? I had no real experience other than some FM radio, and I started the show, and I was so nervous. But my support system came around me, my wonderful people that are like, I'm your top fan. I love your show. I listen to your show every day, my friends. And it just kept growing and growing and growing. Now, when I do the show, I wake up to do that show. People are like, why do you do so many shows a week? I'm like, when I'm not doing a show, I'm like, oh my gosh, I wish I had a show today. Like, I love it. It gave me a new energy. I am serving people. I am serving people with this podcast. People sometimes are like, really? You just want to like interview me and drive traffic to my website and like tell people how amazing I am? I'm like, yep, that's literally what I want to do. I mean, I screen people. Of course, I always screen them. And I feel like I'm very good at choosing people, about who's going to leave the listeners with a good takeaway and some nuggets, like you like to call little good nuggets. But I think I just learned to just trust myself, trust my abilities. Trust that when you serve, that the universe responds. Trust that God wants to bless you when you help other people. And when you support others, God and the universe responds. When you do it with a servant's heart and a humble heart, asking nothing in return. If you want to donate to the podcast, wonderful. That helps me pay for the websites and a lot of, things that I need to pay for, microphones and all that stuff. But when you really truly put your heart into something, you don't need to worry about anything else, because it's all going to come back to you times 10, times 100, sometimes more than that. And it's an amazing lesson. It's a really amazing lesson. I love it so much.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the hidden gems when it comes to success, is that you have to give the service first and help other people. Zig Ziglar actually phrased this the best. Now, I don't know verbatim what he said, but he says the easiest way to get everything that you want is to help everybody else get what they want. So when
always be giving.
I love that. I love that. And one of the money manifestations that I listen to, I'm talking about fire stuff that I've never heard about money. Like money is your friend and different things like that. One thing in particular, money is your tool in order to accomplish what you want. But in this, there was one phrase that really stuck out to me. And he says, the more that you give, the more that you receive, and the more that you receive, the more that you can give. And it kind of goes backwards.
But Mike, where's the bell, Lauren?
Yeah, seriously, it's a continuous cycle. And if everybody were to think in that manner, the universe and everybody living in it will be more harmonious and more peaceful, because everybody's giving to each other, and while they're giving, they're receiving. So it's just that constant flow. I love that. Give the service first.
Yeah. And what I like to say also too is no one ever lost from from giving. You're not losing anything from giving because it's a circle. And remember, we talked about that energy. And so I just want to like circle back about that frequency and that energy. So when you give, you're raising the frequency. So your frequency is then raised. So then good things happen to you. It's like a magnet, laws of magnitude, the secret, the greatest secret. Happiness, joy. You're gaining happiness and joy by blessing others. And also, God's not Santa Claus. Even if you don't have the same religious beliefs as me, but you believe in a higher power, God does not run out of blessings. The blessings that you have are for you. And the only person that can block those blessings is you. Okay. So if you see somebody get a brand new car and you'd be like, oh, I wish I had that car. Focus on you and watch what you receive. That person, you don't know what their journey was. People don't know what I went through to live in the beautiful house that I lived in and that I grew up in little apartments and 600 square feet and sometimes hotel rooms. Now I have a beautiful home. It's like you have to respect others in their journey. God does not run out of blessings. And I want to, if the only thing that people remember from my message today, I want you to think about that and remember that. It's not like Santa Claus with a pack, with a present that'd be like one for you, one for you, one for you. You don't know that the purpose and the blessings that God has over your life and for your life. And so when you focus on giving, you're abundantly going to be blessed. And that circle is going to continue. It's never going to stop. So don't block your blessings by being negative and living in that low energy of being jealous of that person or jealous of that sister or jealous. Oh, she got a man, she got married. Oh, I wish no. Like you just need to focus on you and your gifts will come. That's it. Amen.
1,000%.
God's Glory Music Group.
Bring it on. That's what we want. That's why you're here.
Yes, I'm a sister, man. My godmother is a women's minister from Baltimore, man. She taught me like, yes.
You got it. And there's one point, I just had to look up this picture right now. I'm going to share the screen. I saw this and it really changed my perspective on what it meant to really focus on yourself. So I don't know if you guys can see this at all. Hopefully you can. All right, give me 1 second. Okay, that's not it. Well, I'm just going to zoom in on this picture right here. So it says, can you see that? Let me see how it looks.
I see it. Mm-hmm.
All right, so if you look right there on the right-hand side, it says success is not always what you see. So when you see that if you look at that one rabbit looking at the other guy, since his, the roots are really big and beautiful, when you start to focus on somebody else, you don't know what you're missing out on. So you have all of that gold right there. And there was another picture with the gold miner too. There was one gold miner who went really deep and he only got this much. And the other guy stopped mining, but there was the biggest diamond that you can imagine. So that's one of the biggest transformational pictures that I've ever seen. And it's kind of silly just because it's only a rabbit and, some carrots. But I love that you said always focus on yourself because you don't know what is meant for you. And it can be a million times greater than what another person is receiving. So
eyes on your own paper. That's my hashtag. Eyes on your own paper. Just like when you were in school and your teacher said eyes on your own paper. So I know that there are many great photographers out there. If I focused on all the photographers and how much better they were being, how much more clients they had, and how much more creative they were, then I am dumbing myself down. Mm-hmm. Instead, I support them. And I focus on what can I do to bring my client joy? What can I do to be creative? What can I do to be a beautiful painter or a great writer or a great coach or a great supporter or a great friend? Eyes on your own paper. And if you keep that, it's that negativity is lies. You're not going to be as good of a model. You're not going to be as good of an actor. Your show's not going to be as good. Your radio doesn't have as much following. You don't have as many Instagram followers. I don't even have 2,000 Instagram followers. But yeah, I'm in all these countries and all this. I don't care about Instagram followers. Those numbers, I want to reach people that are connectors. But if you want to follow me, it's VR Fine Art. You can go on there and there's a La Dolce Vita podcast one. But I had those pages on private for years to protect myself and my children. Oh, I love that. Yes, Joan. But it's not, followers don't mean friends. Followers don't mean supporters. You know what I'm saying? So you really got to just focus. I love that. Eyes on your own paper.
I love that too. And I'm going to write that down. Hashtag.
A t-shirt, right?
Yeah. So, there was something I just had it on the tip of my tongue. Oh, and you said that I just had it. No.
You'll get it.
We're not moving away from this point. Oh, okay. I found it. Now, when you say that the creativity portion, when it comes to doing your photo shoots or thinking of new ideas, what practices can somebody take in order to open themselves up to receiving those different creative ideas?
Oh, wow. This is a really good question, Daniel. I love this. So, different people are going to get it in different ways. It can be a change of environment. I went to Tennessee. So I actually was not going to do my annual birthday photo shoot. And I was actually not going to do it this year. I didn't have my hairstylist, my makeup artist because of the pandemic. I was a little tired. I was like, oh, it won't matter. Nobody will miss it. I missed it. I needed to do it, right? So I went to this beautiful park with a great friend, and I saw this beautiful setting, and it looked like Alice in Wonderland meets kind of Cinderella's garden, and it was so beautiful. And it hit me exactly what I wanted to do for the photo shoot. And it completely made me have like a wonderful birthday. I love the pictures. My kids will have memories of me when I'm long gone. And it was something beautiful, a change of environment. Number two, we talked about peace and being still and having that quiet time. You cannot download if you have noise around you, okay? Turn your cell phones off. Put some quiet, peaceful music on. Get into a space where you are allowing the creativity to come in and to flow into you. There's 2 TVs on in your house, vacuum cleaners going, people are fighting it. You can't do it. So you might have to take a walk. Yeah, it's not going to work. Yeah. It's not going to work. And then rather, depending on your religious beliefs or however, but prayer and meditation. So I will tell you, so I'm a painter. I know that's probably hard to see that painting behind you, but I think you've seen some of my paintings that I've done. So I get all of my downloads for my paintings when I'm meditating. I lay flat, I breathe, and I ask God, please show me. And he shows me through the colors and just some of the things I'm like, I painted that. Like, wow. Like I'm like impressed. Like, good job, self. Like, you know what I mean? But I wouldn't be able to paint like that if I didn't allow the download or allow the visions to come in and to be received in a quiet space. And let me tell you, I wasn't always like that. I was drinking Pepsi and coffee and trying to da. And you know what happened? I used to have panic attacks all the time because of the adrenaline and trying to keep that going and all that time. And I couldn't get ideas, and I'd get writer's block or photographer, creative block. But I just stopped all that. I just changed the lifestyle. Listen to the heart, self-care, breathing, putting all that stuff, no toxic people around me. Just those things are so important.
Yeah, 1000%. And there's so many other things that we have to talk about, but we got
another show.
I know we got to schedule back another show to get you back on, just so we can go further into all the topics and just even more about your life. So I have people on here that are saying get my boy Dano on a magazine cover. Then when are you going to be on the cover? You guys don't even know. We have some stuff lined up.
He's booking his photo shoot tonight, and he's letting me know his date for June.
Yeah, so this is stuff that you guys aren't even ready for, because I'm telling you.
Oh, you're not ready. You're not ready. Virginia does Dano's photo shoot. They're not ready for it.
They're not ready. They're not ready. I'm just so excited. And
when they see my work, they're going to be like, go to VRH. Yeah, VRHphotography.com. They can see. We can make you very dapper. We can put you in a tux. We can put you in a sports car. We can put you at the beach. And it's not photoshopped. We'll actually go there. We'll drive to D.C. We'll have you sitting on the steps. We'll have you, whatever you want. Remember what I said. Whatever you want to be, it's possible. Your dreams are possible.
Yep.
From everybody listening that stopped by and took the time to watch this episode today, I'm so humbled. I'm so grateful. Thank you for all the love. And just remember that your dreams are possible, and remember to take that time for yourself too.
And how can people reach you one more time?
Okay, so you can go on the Dolce Vita podcast with Virginia Rose Facebook page. You can follow me on Virginia Hodges. It's parentheses Virginia Rose. Virginia Rose is my given name, and it's also my brand name. You can reach out to me at virginiarosefineart@yahoo.com if you want to book a shoot, or you want to talk about, whatever it might be that you might need as a resource. Or you can go on my websites. I know it's like so many things, but the main one is joinvirginiarose.com. That is, please subscribe so that I can stay in touch with you. You're going to see all my new podcasts. You're going to learn about my guests. And please go listen to the show, joinvirginiarose.com. I would love to have you subscribe and stay in touch with you.
All right, and there it is for everybody, joinvirginiarose.com. So thank you so much for spending an hour of your time. Thank you, everybody watching, just to spend this hour of the time in order to develop yourself and to hear about other people that are going through maybe similar problems that you're going through. Always remember, your problems are not special. You're the one that's special. So when you start to fight through them, you're going to live the life that you want to live. And I just want to thank everybody, from the people that are watching the replay, the people watching now, Virginia, everybody. So thank you so much, guys. I will see you next week for another episode of Weekly Dose of Dano TV. You don't want to miss that one. And I just want to say thank you, guys. I'm just so humble and grateful. So, Virginia, have a great night, and thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you, Dano.
Bye. I'll talk to you guys soon.